Welcome back to Muscular Dystrophy Warrior. Just like the last video and every video, a moment of silence for all the fallen warriors who sadly lost the battle to muscular dystrophy. Sending prayers to all those families who have lost someone with muscular dystrophy. Growing up, I honestly didn't think people with disability could become fathers, dads, however you want to say it. Especially someone living with muscular dystrophy, not just fatherhood, but having family in general, dating, relationships, and all that felt impossible to me. But over the years, I realized it can happen. There's a lot of, people out there, individual with a disability who have dated, had a relationship, or have started their own family. It may be rare, guys, like I said. There's not an actual statistic, honestly. I did a research and there's no statistic how much percentage of individuals living with muscular dystrophy or any disability who have become fathers, dads, however you want to say, like I said. And you don't always see it, and you don't always see it talked about publicly. But there are disabled men and men with muscular dystrophy who are fathers. People might wonder, you guys might be wondering, that's what I mean, but people might wonder, my audience, anybody watching my video would probably wonder, whoever wants to become a dad or father, however you gonna say it. And to be honest, you guys, I don't really focus on that too much. Before I continue, I don't focus on that too much because I feel like I want to change the world. I want to change the perspective of people with disabilities, throughout all their stages of life. I want the next generation to live in a world that's more accessible, more inclusive. You know, I see people with muscular dystrophy have careers, start their own family, date, have relationship, go out and explore the world, travel, do everything their peers do, but due to their disability, they're not able to. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, or it depends on your disability. I honestly have learned that depends. When you have a minor disability, it feels like people tend to date, start their own family, have kids, and people like who have some sort of like progressive disability. Those things are a lot harder. But at the end of the day, everybody with a disability, we deal with stereotype. We have our own challenges. So I want to change the world, change how people view people with disability, and help the next generation have it a lot easier. We can see more people that can start their family, because if I go out in public, I don't see a family with someone with a disability, like mom or dad with a disability, in a wheelchair or anything like that. You don't see that. Or I don't see someone holding hands with someone with a disability. They're in a relationship, dating, all that stuff. You don't see it. So I want to change the world for them. Not for me so much, because I'm 26. Uh, this is gonna just be progressing more and more. I'm not getting any younger, so in this disability, obviously it's not gonna stop progressing. So I'm at a point in my life that I'm like, I want to change things for the next generation. Not so much for me, I don't really, for me, I feel like it's already, too late for all that stuff, because, like I said, I'm 26, I'm not getting any younger. This disability is not going to stop progressing, even if I'm not getting any younger, and stuff like that. So I want to focus myself trying to change the world for the next generation, you know, and just thought I'll mention that. I joke with my mom that it will feel like chasing a Super Bowl, for those that don't know, I'm a Niner fan, a huge Niner fan, huge sports fan in general. always close but never happening. Like what I mean by that is like I'm not gonna be, I don't know, wasting my time on trying to, date, relationships, or a family. Like the three things I mentioned, at the beginning of the video. So I mean, let's say things are going well, then things go wrong because obviously that person couldn't see past my disability. Or I mean, I took my shot and I failed. I came up short because that person couldn't see my past my disability. I say it jokingly, but there's truth behind it. I don't want to spend my life chasing a relationship, family, or fatherhood if it's only gonna lead to disappointments, depression. Because I know what will happen if I start, not the fatherhood, but the relationship and dating part. I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get delusional. And things don't go well. Like I said, like it's hard. Like I have talked about it on my channel when I did like the dating videos. Then I researched the topic, and for me, it will be like I know I'm gonna get delusional. Things are probably not gonna go my way because it takes a strong person who can see past someone's disability, and I feel like 99% of people wouldn't see past this disability. Just say, and everything I read, like all the research I did, always shows that disappointment after disappointment. For me, I think I'm probably would have been dealing with depression, laying down in bed, not wanting to do anything, music playing, one of those sad songs. And especially I'm Hispanic, so obviously gonna listen to both languages, English and Spanish. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I wouldn't be taking my medication. Nah, I would be in a bad, dark place. A little bit worse than I was with isolation. So I choose not to focus on that. That's why I see it. That's why I always say that. And because I'm an only child, that reality hits differently. It's a tough pill to swallow knowing my parents will never have grandkids, obviously, from me. Sometimes I even joke with my mom that she should have had more kids, but beyond the joke, there's a real reality there, sadness there. But since it's Father's Day this month, I wanted to talk about this topic. I found an article about three men with different forms of muscular dystrophy who became dads. And I think it's important to show that disability does not automatically erase fatherhood in some cases. So shout out to all those dads living with muscular dystrophy, aka DMD, or any disability. Your stories matter, and this conversation serves more awareness. So shout out to every disabled. Oh wait, not that part. So guys, I'm gonna share the screen with you now, guys. Show you the article what I will be reading. Alright, it's this one. Alright, let me close this so you guys can see the video. The article is called The Joys and Lessons of Fatherhood from MDA Ambassador, which is by Rebecca Hum, which was last year that they created. And the same date, look, today's Wednesday, but today's June 10th, 2025. Today's June 6th. My bad, June 10th, 2026. So as every father knows, parenthood is an incredible journey filled with joy, challenges, victory, growth, and love. For dads living with a disability, raising children sometimes requires extra patience, relentlessness, and adaptability in beautiful synchronity. Those very traits are often strengthened through daily life with a disability and serve as an asset to parenting, providing an opportunity to teach and model for their sons and daughters the value of compassion, creativity, and strength in celebration of Fatherhood, we check in with six MDA ambassadors about what they have learned and what they love about being a dad. First, we start with Frederick Graves, father of an 8-year-old son, lives with limb-girdle muscular dystrophy, LGMD2AR1. As a dad living with muscular dystrophy, I learned that parenting isn't about physical abilities, but about showing up, connecting, and leading with love. I'm reflecting on what fatherhood has taught me, the lessons I hope to pass on to my child, and the unique perspective my disability has brought to the journey. My favorite thing about being a father is watching my child grow and being able to share the things I love with him. It was so exciting to see his face light up the first time he heard Bad by Michael Jackson. Oh, fatherhood has taught me that I didn't give my dad nearly enough appreciation. All he did, he made being a father look so easy. I never realized how much it truly took. On a personal level, it's also taught me to be more mindful of my own self-talk. I realized holding on to a lot more self-inflicted ableisms than I ever knew. And I learned that the kids are always watching and listening. I focus a lot on communication with my son. The more he understands, the easier it is to get his cooperation. He learned very early that his father is stronger than me, so I make communication a top priority. My disability has prepared me for parenthood in two ways. First, it made me very, very patient. I don't mind moving at my child's pace because sometimes he needs to move at mine. Second, it made me relentless. There's a will, there's a way. Three key lessons I want my son to learn from me are: one, that he can do anything he sets his mind to with the right planning and effort. Two, that God loves him and that he has a family that will always be there for him. The best parenting advice that I ever received was: rules without relationship breed rebellion. I don't parent from I don't parent from a because I said so place. I'd much rather be respect and appreciate my guidance. When I first became a dad, I focused a lot on what I couldn't do and how my limitation may affect my son, but I've learned to focus more on what I can do and not what I can't. I encourage others dad with LGMD or MD to quiet those negative thoughts when we are children's superhero no matter our limits. Now we're going to Justin Lopez has 3-year-old son with and lives with LGMD2B. My favorite part of being a father is watching Tatum grow and discover the world around him. He has an incredible curiosity, especially for that little detail most people overlook. Once something catches his attention, he dives deep, staying focused until he truly understands it. I love being part of the journey, guiding him, encouraging him, and when you see those moments and realizing it's pretty cool to support him as he learns and evolves every day. Fatherhood has taught me a lot about selflessness and presence. I have learned that I'm capable of more love and responsibility than I ever imagined. It's also shown me how important it is to lead by example, how my actions, even the small ones, shape how my child sees the world. I discover strength I didn't know I had, and at the same time, I've learned to embrace my imperfections and keep going for both of us. Living with a disability has challenged me to adapt my parenting style in more mental psychological ways, especially when physical tasks can be limiting. With Tatum, that means relying more on communication, creativity, and emotional connection in numeric 3-year-old, but also help me because more international and patient, and then strengthen our bond in unique ways. Without question, living with a disability has taught me patience, and the same patience has become one of the greatest strengths as a father. Managing my disability required me to approach life slowly, methodically, which translates well to parenting. A toddler at Tatum, I learned to accept that things won't always go right the first time, even the second or third. But what matters most is showing up, constantly staying calm, and leading with love through every attempt. That mindset has shaped how I support and connect with him every day. The three key lessons about life that I hope to inspire my child or one, whatever you do and everything you do, get 110. Two, be yourself, will always be enough, and there will be a man. And three, be a man of your word. The best parenting advice I ever received is to avoid comparing yourself to other parents, whether it's your peers or what you see on social media. Every child and every family is different. Instead, focus on raising a kind, resilient, and thoughtful human being. If you keep that as your guiding principle, everything else will fall into place. Trust and rely on your village to get you through peaks and valleys of parenting. My advice to other parents living with this is don't dwell on what you can't do. Focus on what you can. I know that's easier said than done, but it's true. Kids are incredible, adaptable. They adjust to your lifestyle with more ease than you might expect. What matters most is being present, loving, engaged. Focus on what's what you control and let go of the rest. Now we're going with Kevin Crowley, who lives with Charkar, married to T. He's the father of two and an author of My Dad's Garage blog series. Extracted from his recent blog about fatherhood, he shares his experience and advice. I have so many favorite things about being a father, but most precious that is the fact that with one of my children I had to work, grind, sometimes fight, and always had to earn my spot in her life. And he says, I met my wife Carrie in 2011. Along came a sweet, very automatic, beautiful 12-year-old little girl, sometimes bleeding. The two of us was much blending. The two of us was much like stirring vegetable oil into water. But she turned 26 this year, and she is and always will be one of my true loves. I've grown into a dad, and she's the most perfect daughter I could ever ask for. But needless to say, we both earned those titles. With my son, who was born 2014, I've been a dad since day one, and there's nothing he can do about it. Well, both of my children and I have very different foundation. Our end price is still the same. They're our most precious gifts, and I'm their dad. They're the most important people in my life, and I shifted more focus on my own health and well-being, more strength, compassion for my own body and soul than I ever had, and thank my kids for being the reason for that. The older I get, the more my CMT affects me. While the struggles are real, hard, and continuous, I have embraced that my mind still functions. While I'm never going to play sports again or run the Boston Marathon, my mind can still coach my own son and so many other youth athletes. By the time both my children have become adults and have lived their own, I hope that I have installed some traits in them that I hold very important. Respect, always respect others, acknowledge that you live your own shoes, not theirs. Bravery, whether it's facing your own struggles or fighting for what you feel is right, but brave, and more importantly, brave enough to ask for help responsibly, be responsible for actions and who you are, be responsible for your own life and commitments. When my son was on his way, afraid about everything, food, diapers, schedules, and general how in the heck are we going to do this? A close friend told me you're going to blink and his childhood will be over and you will forget how you got it done. It'll happen, don't stress yourself. Preparing for it, that has been the best advice I've received on parenthood. If I had to give advice to other fathers who live with a disability, it would be this. Know that your children see your strength, not your disability. Many times I watch and compare myself to other coaches, and I get frustrated with that I'm not as mobile, as strong, or maybe can't keep up physically with some of the younger dads. Where if my son needs support, he strengths, he comes to me first. He looks to me for love and protection, and at the end of every practice, every game, my son walks out of a crowd of 30 boys and through 5 other coaches put himself on the mound. Nothing else matters to him except that I'm his person and that I'm his dad. Realize that you are dad too. Love your children, support your children, teach your children, be dad, and everything else will come. Now we're going with Marshall Eckrey. Has a 2-year-old daughter and lives with LGMD 2B. My favorite thing about being Estella's father is watching her discover the world around her and seeing her realize she has a major role in it. Fatherhood has taught me that one failure or mistake does not define you. Fatherhood is about the accumulation of your effort. Kids remember your effort and action, not your missteps. Parenting with a disability can be difficult from several perspectives. First and probably most obvious is that I'm physically able to do everything an able-bodied parent might. This means adapting play when possible. It also means leaning on my wife to take over tasks that I may need to be physically able to do. Like coming to the top of the playground for the second and maybe less obvious adaptation changing the way I think a parent should show up. My perspective of parenthood comes from my life experience having two able-bodied parents. I always imagine being able to ride bikes with my kids, go on difficult hikes to carry them from the car to the bed. While this is not the reality, my child perspective of a father is me. That means doing what I can and showing up in different ways. I'm constantly adapting on the fly, both physically and mentally. Living with a disability from my perspective is controlling what you can and letting go of what you do not control. This has helped me during my parenting journey because there are things I control, but a lot that I can't. My responsibility as a father is to help my daughter in the ways that I can and be with her when things are out of control, which is difficult for a 2-year-old always grasp. There are so many lessons that I want to instill in my daughter, but I will try to narrow it down to three. One, you are loved immeasurably more than you ever know. Two, don't be afraid to take up space, being your authentic self and bringing your own skills to the table. And three, life is if tough, but you are tougher, you can do hard things. The best parenting advice I ever received is that the days are slow, but the years are fast. Soak up every moment. My advice to other parents dealing with disabilities is to ensure that you are keeping up with your own physical and mental health. When you are at your best you can be, devote yourself to being the best for your dads. Now we're going with Levi Stranger. If he is father to a 4-year-old and live with CMT. My favorite thing about being a father is playing with my son, getting to be silly together. Fatherhood has taught me that I can still be very present in my kid's life, even with my limitations. I play for him from my power chair and have adapted how we can play together. My wife set me up with everything he needs and then I can help. I already knew that I could do hard things and that has helped me. With parenting and figuring out what I need to do to help my son. 3 lessons I hope to instill in my son: always work hard, help others, have fun. The best parent advice I have ever received is that you're going to make mistakes, but that's how you learn. Isaac Banks has 3 children, ages 7, 9, and 10, and lives with LGMD. My favorite thing about being a dad is hearing my kids say I love you unpromoted. Any parents knows the struggle of chasing down your kids for a hug or a verbal tone of endearment. But when one of my kids comes up to me and hugs me and tells me how much they love me, it lets me know that they feel safe. What more could a dad want? Fatherhood has taught me that there is no greater calling for a man Muscles fade, hair turns gray, and good looks are fleeting. But having a child tell you when they grow up they want to be just like you is the highest compliment someone can have. I have wanted to be them my entire life and know that I am. I realized I was made for it. Almost every aspect of my parenting has had to be adapted or at least recorrected to my disability. I am not able to play on the floor, catch or take them fishing. I can't just put them in my van and take them to the park. I have to plan every detail, make arguments, seek help, but that's the physical part of parenting. I can still love them, nurture them, and correct them. My favorite part of parenting is when my kids help me come up with the new ways of doing things that become our normal. Kids are so much smarter than we give them credit for, and they are always seeking time to spend with us. Communication has been such an amazing parenting tool. Since I'm not able to physically take care of myself, I had to learn how to communicate my needs in a way that's easy to understand. When I talk with my kids, I feel like I'm better suited to talk and listen to them instead of just assuming and asserting my own thoughts. Having to express myself clearly to others for assistance has been vital to parenting my children. My words will wait to them so in situations where all I have to keep them safe or my words they listen. That makes all the difference. Three great lessons about life that I hope to install in my children are: first, no one should have to earn love. I have to love them fairly and happily, and it's my heart desire for them to give it away, to everyone they meet. Second is that there is always a way. It may not be the way others do it, but there is what makes it unique. Never give up. Some just because it will take time to figure out a new way. Third, life is going to hurt. I can't protect them from it. It's not fair and it's a struggle, but it's worth it. And I believe in them. The best parenting advice I have received is don't ever wish away the phase of childhood they are in. It's easy to be tired, which they weren't old enough to sleep on their own or walk on their own. It's a trap. You can never get those years back. Enjoy them where they are, and you will make the most of your precious time with them. And my biggest advice for a disabled dad is to try, dare to fail, pride and embrace and steal so much of us because of a disability. Your kids don't care if you look silly driving around a yard or rolling a ball in your lap. They care that you love them enough. Let me cancel stop sharing the screen, guys. And that's the video, guys. I hope, before I end this video, so shout out to every disabled father out there. The ones people doubted, the ones people questioned, the ones people never expected to see raising a family. You are proof that disability does not cancel our fatherhood. It just creates a different kind of story. So guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And like always, guys, MD Warrior out. Until next time.